Hey folks, welcome back, another Poem Massive video, and now that we're sort of at the end of this update cycle, right, I thought, we'd just go back over, and, check out all the, sync pairs and sort of how the meta shift, because this update, honestly, we had a pretty huge meta shift because of, master mode being a thing, right, and that really changed a lot of things, right. So, as usual, we'd go over like a sort of end of update-ish tier list. Hopefully we'll get the update sometime like next week, probably. That'll be cool, right? So anyways, as usual, this tier list is very subjective for the most part. I don't expect anyone to agree with me. If you like 100% agree with me, that's kind of weird. Right? I don't even 100% agree with this list because I made it with Runner on Discord, so getting some different opinions in here. And anyways, let's do this then. So, starting with from left to right. I mean, Sings of Blue is easily in the top tier, right? It does a lot of things. Almost everything, right? It buffs your defenses, buffs your, both your attacks. A bit slow at that, unfortunately, really RNG, but it could still do it, right? You could buff your crits. If you get an MP refresh, you can max that out. You could sometimes heal your team. You get move gauge regen, you get speed buffs, has good defenses. Right? Whole team it does like a billion things, which is why it's up there, right? Very, very, very good. Moving on. Steelix, I'd put it in the really good tier. And Steelix is just really good, right? Fantastic physical defense, has recuperation, which is one of the most broken skills in the game. Clang is decent, right? It gives your whole team vigilance. Just a great defensive buffer as well, and I could also buff your attack, team's attack if you want, just gauges, all that stuff with Clang. So yeah, still looks really, really good, right? Moving on to Metacham. So Metacham, I'd put it in the let's see, I put it in the quite useful tier, right? Metacham. If Metacham didn't buff crit, I'd put Metacham much lower. But Metacham does buff crit, and crit is really, really important, right? You also have Drain Punch, which could heal you a bit, right? Rock Smash could decrease your opponent's defenses, buffs your team's attack, gives you a sure hit, I guess, which is okay. The big downside for Metacham, however, is its speed. It's really slow, right? Which is unfortunate. Moving on, we got Roxanne. We'll put Roxanne in the quite useful tier as well, right? Roxanne I found really, really nice in Master Mode because Roxanne does have Wide Guard, which could be clutch in some situations, right? Once you take out the mid, although I generally encourage people to work on the sides first, right? But sometimes if you take out the mid, you can use Roxanne to like throw out a Wide Guard so you don't get hit by those sometimes quite damaging AoE moves, right? Roxanne also buffs your whole team's defense, special attack, and speed, and relatively tank as well. Just overall, really, really great option in Master Mode, right? Moving on to Blissey. Blissey I put in meh. Although I do think it's slightly better with Master Mode because most Master Mode stages are either like almost fully physical or fully special. There are some stages where there are mixes, right? But if you just throw like Blissey into like a full special stage, that would be relatively nice, I guess, because Blissey's like biggest weakness. If I could find Blissey, where's Blissey? But Blissey's biggest weakness is that its physical defense, right? Its physical defense is like nothing. It has really, really good special defense, really, really good HP. Okay, I guess it's also really, really slow. But it does have like decent buffs, right? X special attack all. You got all patience just heals yourself, and then sharply raises or doesn't heal itself. Heals a sync pair, and then sharply raises their defense and special defense, right? Which is nice. and then it has Healing Hand, right? So Blissey's, I actually don't think it's that bad, right? Even though I put it in mid here, it's solid. It's solid. It's just, again, it has like a critical, deficiency, which is literally no defense, right? Moving on. Rotom I put in amazing tier, because Rotom's amazing. The sync move acceleration is nice. The crit buffs are nice. Unfortunately, that only has 1 MP. Special buffer, dodge, evasion tank, has hostile environment on paralysis, so you could paralyze relatively easily. Now 6 REX, which is nice too as well. Just really overall, just solid support, right? Moving on. Meganium probably put it. I was struggling between putting like Meganium amazing or really good, and I think I settled on really good. Just because Meganium's setup is kind of janky, I guess, right? Obviously, Solarize with Infinite Sun is fantastic, all that stuff. Meganium is just way too team specific. Unlike like Rotom, you could just slot Rotom into like any team that needs any special attack or crit buffs, right? Obviously Meganium you could do that too, but it's just like, it's just better to use stuff like Rotom or Sabrina, right? If you are, again, needing special buffers, right? But yeah, obviously she's fantastic with Sun teams. She's kind of like the core of all those, right? So there's that. Moving on, Dawn, I probably put it in really, really good as well. I said 2 reallys, even though there's only 1. Dawn's fantastic, right? And I see her getting more appreciation the more people that use her against like Bruno in the master mode, right? Fantastic physical tank. Gets solid damage as well if you want. The heals are the heal, no heals, no plural, unfortunately. The heal is nice. The defensive buffs, always great, all that stuff. Really nothing too bad to say about Dawn. All right, moving on. Got Delibird. Delibird I put in good. Obviously, Delibird's fantastic in a Hail team, but outside of a Hail team, she's still solid, right? You got guaranteed X attack, all buffs. You get move gauge regen. Decently tanky, right? You got, the random buffs from all the presents, which could potentially be really, really good. And now that we have shared fortune, like the chances of getting something good is actually relatively high, right? So there's that. Moving on. Eevee, man. Eevee, I think I'll put in quite useful. I don't know. I'm kind of wavering between. Okay, Eevee got shafted hard, man. Eevee got shafted hard ever since EXs became a thing. Because now that EX sync pairs are a thing, the sync moves are so much more valuable, right? The sync moves used to be like not that big of a deal, and then you could just, bring in Eevee, use the sync, get like Omni buff your whole team, right? And now you just kind of, there's just so many like other sync moves that you'd rather use over Eevee, which are kind of sad. And Eevee as a support really doesn't do much. It gives you like gauges, and that's like when you're not syncing, like the only thing she really supports you is like gauges, and then there's like potions. But then again, if you're like comparing Eevee to like any other like better potion, like whether it be Sing Suit Leaf or Skyla or Brock or Pikachu, right? They're all just better potion users anyways, unfortunately. Yeah, I guess she does have like a 1 gauge spam, which is nice. But outside of that, I don't know. I almost want to move Eevee down 1. I guess the potions, she still has good bulk, I guess. I'll keep her here. Yeah, Eevee's a tough one. I don't know. Hopefully her grid fixes her. Or makes her, I guess, more relevant in the current day meta, because she's just not built for the current day meta, right? She's built for back then co-op, right? And she was really, really great in co-op. She was almost game changing. But now she's just kind of sad, unfortunately. I don't know. I'll put her in here because I'm trying to be nice to Eevee today. Anyways, moving on. Alakazam's easy top tier, right? It does everything, right? Except for buff physical attack. Outside of buff and physical attack, it does basically everything, right? It heals you max crit buffs easily, right? Accuracy buffs, special attack buffs, which maxes it out, right? Physical damage reduction, speed buffs, also solid, psychic type damage dealer as well if you want. I can't wait for her EX. I've actually sold myself on her EX now. I was used to be I used to be like, is Sabrina's EX really like that great? Because like if you do EX her, you do lose the two like Psybeam MGRs, and your Force Seal is like a 3-gauge move, and using like a 3-gauge move with like supports just isn't that great. But then again, I mean, she does get recuperation, which is really, really good. And now there's just so many more like speed options in the game that I'm looking forward to that. Obviously I'm not really counting that in ranking her, but regardless, with or without the 6-star EX, she's definitely top tier, right? Moving on, Clefairy, I think it would be really good. If she had like crit buffs, even if it was like buff, like a +1 crit, she would easily skyrocket, right? But unfortunately she doesn't, and she does have like a speed issue. Outside of that, maxing out attack and special attack is amazing. Accuracy buffs, one of the rare accuracy buffers in the game. Not that like a lot of units need more than like +2 accuracy, but it's definitely really, really great for the units that have like, was it Brutal Clarity, the one that increases damage output with accuracy increases. Also, she has a great sync as well, which heals the whole team on sync. Great 6-star EX, right, all that stuff, and just really, really solid support. Moving on, Glalie, I gotta speed these up. Don't want to take forever. Glalie, I probably put in quite useful. Fantastic regen tank, could buff your special attack a bit. Good off tank as well. AoE freeze, right? Hostile environment, which by the way got buffed recently. And the ice beam freeze, all that stuff. Fantastic in hail, even outside of hail, still solid, right? Moving on, Lunatone I put in quite useful. I almost want to move it up one, honestly. Lunatone's like master mode. Look, Lunatone's really, really good master mode because we just don't have that many great, or just, well, not even great. We just don't have that many great, or we just don't have that many special defense buffers, in the game overall. It's like just like Misty, Lunatone, I guess Blissey, sorta, and like Drake, right? Those are like the reliable. There are like some units that like on your passive, there's like a something 30% chance like buff your special defense if something happens, right? But just in terms of like reliable special defensive buffers, just like those 4. And obviously, there are like a lot of like special champion or champion stadium opponents, right? And you definitely need to bring more than one usually, and Lunatone does that really well, and also gives you attack and physical attack in the process. Also has a 1-gauge spam. I was just talking about to make these shorter, but I just talked like a lot about like Lunatone. Moving on, unfortunately Marley is probably in Bruh here. I really like Marley. I love Arcanine. She was really, really good back in the day, but she's just not that great anymore, unfortunately. Just the speed, like just having like speed buff is just not enough in these days, and like status condition blocks. The bulk is nice, I guess. Comfy is an amazing tier, one of the best tanks in the game. In my opinion, the best tank in the game actually overall, right? In terms of effective tanking, right? Even much better than say stuff like Steelix or like Torterra or Blastoise, just because of the effective HP that Comfy has just like completely surpasses like everyone else here, right? Which is really, really good for Comfy. And obviously you have like the AoE potion. It's just, it's like it's something that like you basically can't kill, which is really, really cool. Moving on, Tyranny I probably put in med here. Like the regen is really, really nice. It's just that like there's just so many better regen units in the game now. Tyranny used to be much better, but again now like a lot of people just took Tyranny's job and made it much, much better, right? Swanna still in the best, right? About to get a 6-star EX, which would make her even better, right? And plus everyone like it's like a free one, which is cool. But yeah, Swanna obviously very, very powerful. Potions with MP refresh, with Master Healer, Gust, move gauge refresh 9, or staggering if you want that. The defensive buffs, the speed buffs is especially, right? Fantastic. Moving on, Salamence probably quite useful as well. I've been using Salamence a lot in Master Mode, right? I've actually used Salamence, like, I think of all, like, the Gacha 3-star, 4-stars, I've used Salamence the most in Master Mode, although I don't think Salamence is, like, better than Lunatone or Probopass in Master Mode. Just because, again, most of the time, like, Master Mode, they only have, like, one type of damage out, but there are some stages that do both, right? But most of the stages are just either physical or special. There really aren't that many that are both, which, again, Salamence has really only benefited in. But then again, we just don't have that many or I said it again, that many special defensive buffers. So obviously Salamence just definitely gets a spot there. And for those stages who do hit both physical and special, obviously Salamence is fantastic there, right? Also gives you gauges, which is really, really nice, and paralysis as well. Moving on, we got Hilbert. Hilbert, I'd probably put in quite useful as well. The speed buffs are nice, attack buffs are fantastic, right? You could sometimes flinch with Waterfall. It's just that Hilbert doesn't really do anything outside of that, right? Unlike like any of like the other supports, like higher than Hilbert, they do like a billion other stuff, and Hilbert doesn't really do that. Again, Hilbert's really good at its job. It's just that it's just not anything fantastic. Again, once he does get a grid, hopefully it's much better. Hopefully it's not like Phoebe's grid or whatever, but, fantastic sync pair overall, right? Moving on, we got Lilybee. Lilybee, I've been struggling with this one as well. Going between, like, amazing or really good. I still don't amazing, just because it's, again, just solid tank overall, right? Evasion's really nice. I still think Evasion is criminally underrated in the Palm Masters community. If you dodge one move, all you need is to dodge one move per sync move cycle, right? That's basically worth a whole potion, right? And again, it's outside of that, you also have you also have the benefit of using Evasion on units. You can use it offensively, right? On people who have like blind spot or whatever, right? Who increases their offensive powers through Evasion, because outside of Misty, a Lilybee is the only evasion buffer in the whole game. And again, great, self-healer, all that stuff. And very, very importantly, she is a crit buffer, right? With Dire Hit All Plus, which again is incredibly valuable in this game. Like, crit is just so incredibly like insane in this game, right? You go through shields, you go through, defensive buffs, and you could get it to 100%, right? It's just incredible, right? Moving on, we got Starmie. All sourcing was really good too. Starmie probably put in the best year. I've had like Starmie in like the second year for like a really, really long time, but I think Smart Starmie definitely deserves like the top tier now. Like, again, special defense buffs are just so valuable these days, and Starmie's the best in the business, right? Obviously the regens are incredible. Evasion's really nice too. You could slow with Bubble Beam sometimes, and Misty is fantastic offensively as well, right? Misty's damage is through the charts. And now that we have like another Rain Setter with May and Swampert, right, that definitely helps Misty quite a bit too if you are trying to use Misty to do damage, which again, very, very good option to do that, right? Moving on, got Torchic. Torchic, I think we'll put it in the good tier, because Torchic is good, right? Again, another rare crit buffer. She also buffs both attack and special attack, right? Really nice. And Flame Charge helps fix her, speed issues, right? And Flamethrower have a chance to burn. Just really, really solid, overall, right? Superior, I probably put in the good tier as well, just because, like, first of all, Superior has really, really great natural bulk, right? Even if you don't heal it or whatever, the bulk is, really, really good. And obviously special attack buffs are nice, and then time to energize is always good, right? So there's that. Moving on, Dusknoir probably put in good as well. I really wish Dusknoir got a better grid, but I mean, it's still not like terrible. Like, it's just like Dusknoir turned into like Dusknoir like 1.1, right? It got an upgrade. Like, all of like the basic kits that Dusknoir has got better. And Dusknoir wasn't like terrible before, right? So yeah, it's an upgrade. It's not any like insane upgrade, but it's definitely an upgrade, right? The Shadow Punch move gauge refreshes are honestly a godsend for Dusknoir, which is so slow, right? So there's that. And then Caracosta is still in a Bro tier, unfortunately. X defense all, damage redirect. It's just not that great. I mean, like, if you're trying to redirect damage, at least be like bulky. Like, this guy's bulk isn't even that good, and you're trying to like redirect damage to tank. Like, what are you doing? Right? So anyways, that's me with this one. I guess hope you guys enjoy. Let me know, guys, in the comments down below. Oh, by the way, I uploaded a May / Brendan, Omega Ruffy Alpha Sapphire rival emotion theme piano cover. So it'll be cool if you guys check that one out. And yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.